Hello, my good friends. Welcome back to the show. Like I said, the East-West show cares about California so much that every time when we seize the moment when there's no fight, there's no dogfight especially, we will sneak in and see what we can do, talking about California economy, California money, everything. So today is one of the chances. Joining me in the golden opportunity to talk about is a candidate for California Assembly, one of the most hopeful candidate of California Assembly seat of the 55th District, right. Mr. Craig Young. Right now, he's mayor of beautiful city, Yorba Linda. Oh, by the way, go buy a house before they go $2 million. Right now, it's got about one and a half something. Wish I had that kind of money. I can buy two. All right, anyway. So, now, mayor was talking about, now, current mayor, future assemblyman, was talking about once he is in the office, once he took office, what will he do? Because that's the answer of my second question. I told him in the first place, I have to play a little tough today by asking first what you have done, and the second question is, what are you going to do? Right. So this belongs to the second category about what you're going to do. He told me that he would probably apply of his principle, of his ABC principle. What is the A?
ABC applies at the city level. A is all things public safety, which of course is still at the state.
Okay, sure. And the second is?
B is the bottom line.
B is the bottom line.
Financially, we need to make sure that we're sustainable long term.
And C
is communication.
And C is communication. Now, with California, we analyzed a while ago about California. Government number one being too big, number two being too controlling, number three being too expensive. We analyzed each of that. We even analyzed about the crying baby situation as versus prioritization. Now, once you're there, it looks to me you will combine both your city level knowledge and your understanding, your study so far about the state, right, putting together, and you came to a point you're talking about transportation.
Right.
So how do you put your dice of transportation on the board?
If I can, let's analyze the problem first. Does that make sense to start there?
Sure.
Demand is outpacing capacity, which means we have more cars chasing not enough lanes, right? Traffic is too much. The existing infrastructure we have is requiring more money than we have set aside to pay for it. And the third biggest issue is transportation funding is uncertain and it's not predictable. And
All right.
if I can give you an example there, we had the same problem at the city level. One of our major roads, it actually runs parallel to the freeway, and so people, when traffic gets too busy on the freeway, will jump off on the road. We had hoped, we had planned, I say we, previous councils for years had planned that our county dollars would be able to improve that road, and so our city was not reserving for those repairs, those potholes that have been created. But the unpredictable problem that we have with the funding is the county has finally come back and said, no, we're not going to pay for that road. And so suddenly the city is stuck with a road with potholes going up and down like this at an expense of about 18% of our annual budget. At the state level, we have to be better than that. We have to plan for the future because we know what is coming, and we can't be spending our precious money, our precious limited resources on projects that aren't as important as public safety, education, and transportation.
Exactly. Public safety, education, transportation, those are the three business on top,
right?
On very top. That is probably the same thing that you will start exactly once you took office, right? So among the three though,
right.
Among the three, the very three, do you have your own prioritization?
As far as which of the three is most important?
Which of the three is most important to you?
I give three because I think all three are equally important. And we have the ability, with a staff help, to be able to make sure we're covering all three at equal times.
All right, good.
Now, I do have an overlaying lens that looks at everything, and that's because of my 30 years in private business.
Of course, yeah.
And that lens, Jack, is financial. We have to be financially sustainable. We can't be spending money on our wants at the expense of our needs. And that applies for public safety, education, and transportation equally.
Sure.
All three of those, we're wasting money that we need right there.
Probably you're going to be like your predecessors, that Kurt Hagman, put all his private business experiences into his business, into his assemblymanship, so that he tried to put efforts together to try to put some government business with local business, with private business, so a better result comes out. And I see exactly you're doing the same concept.
Absolutely.
The same concept. And I seem to see some kind of continuation on that thing, our legacy stuff.
Well, and that's part of our solution is we know that government is inefficient. So creating partnerships that pass the responsibility to private enterprise who can build things less expensive than we can at the government level is the way to get
Last time on my show, Mr. Kurt Hagman says, why can't we just subcontract our DMV business to private business? There are private business companies offer to do that. And then can smooth all the processes, can shorten the lines, waiting, and everything. Why not, right? Those are stuff. Okay, now, still try to stick into transportation, though, which is the key for today. And like you stated, among the three, you'll see them probably as equally important, right, on the top. But, by judging by the nature, public safety, you're not talking about a certain thing or a certain strait. It's a concept, right, with a measure, with the actual plan, right? And education achievement is something you put it in the long run. You have to educate people to be aware of that. Right. And then transportation is different because you're talking about potholes, right?
And
everywhere.
Traffic. Potholes and traffic.
Potholes and traffic.
Right.
And accidents.
And accidents. Absolutely.
A few weeks ago, a friend of mine called in, say, hey, can you help? I said, well, I'm on my way to work. He says, well, what happened to him was that there is something which is a metal piece. You have a tube on top, like this tall, and then you put a little banner in there to make like what, like a warning sign. That metal piece was left in the freeway by the repair workers, whatever.
Did he run
over? He was the first one ran over.
Oh man!
He got a whole bottom scratched up, everything. He rolled over. And that's that thing. And then later I learned when he called, nobody will recognize whose fault that is. And the insurance says, no, it's not our problem. And the guy's left in somewhere nowhere. So now, that is one of the examples, right? So when I first came, that was more than 30 years ago, I wrote back to my friends. I said, driving on freeway costs you to sleep all the time. You have to have a good music, whatever, or keep a good conversation because it's so smooth. It's too smooth.
We solved that for you, didn't we? We created potholes.
Yeah, you guys created potholes. I no longer have to do that.
That's right.
Right?
No problem.
Yeah, it wakes me up all the time. Like what? Like a tractor. Like a tractor. Right? Now you're talking about not only on the surface drive, you're talking about freeway too. Freeway too. Okay, if you drive from I-10 from, let's see, East LA part going to the east towards your direction though, you will experience certain portions, right? You're going through different countries. You're going through different economy. So that is the problem. How do you, sir, want to use your limited dollar, Californian dollar, one way or the other, limited or unlimited? Manage your dollar to take care of those problems.
And the first is to appreciate we do have limited dollars chasing unlimited demand, right? There's so many places we could put our money. Jack, is it helpful to identify the fiscal problem first? So there was a study that was done for Orange County, and this seat that I'm running for, Assembly seat, covers Orange County and LA County and San Bernardino County. My experience has been in Orange County.
In those counties.
Well, but my experience has even been more weighted in Orange County because that's where I am. I serve on the TCA, which is the Transportation Corridor Agency, as one of their board members, is where I study transportation. I serve on the OCTA as a Citizens Advisory Committee. I study on the Four Corners board, where we study how do we have the transportation between the four counties.
All right.
But most of my experience is in Orange County because that's where I live and that's where I'm the mayor. So this study talked about the financial problem we have, and the problem says for a 25-mile drive, the cost of maintaining and improving that road cost us about $1.19. The problem is that the income we have comes predominantly from our gas tax, right? The gas tax we have is a third of that.
All right.
So that's why you see potholes continuing to happen, because we only have about a third of the revenue.
Almost nothing. Almost zero.
2/3 is going wrong, right?
And almost nothing.
And so that's why you talked about earlier, why when we're filling potholes, we're doing it by emergency basis. It's because we're always playing catch up. We don't have a long-term sustainable plan.
Sure.
We need to have that.
All right, very good. Let's take a short moment out. Looks that we find the cure. The diagnosis is done, but we need to find a cure, right? The cure maybe is right there. Well, if the answer, make the answer simple, it's like you got the right man on the right job. That's it.
Good. Thank you, Jack.
All right. All right. We'll be right back.